Participants, please occupy the front rows too. Please come forward and occupy the front rows. Participants and students, please come inside the hall and be seated.
Check, check. Check.
Participants, please come inside the hall and be seated. Participants, please occupy the front rows. A warm welcome to one and all present here. The first panel activity of the day is Nibbana with the theme Challenges and Reactions of Youth, Need for Mindfulness. Mindfulness is a process of active, open, non-judgmental awareness. It is paying attention in the present moment with openness, curiosity, kindness, and flexibility. I, Shanmati, of the Department of Public Administration, am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the resource person for the first panel activity of the day, Mrs. Jemima Wesley Williams, our student counselor who has been a great help for the students for the 4 years in Madras Christian College, who has also made the life of students better through her passive, calm, pensive mode of counseling by putting herself into the shoes of the students. One can be completely themselves and free of all judgments with her. The students also thank her for her huge part in making their lives better through the counseling services provided through the college. We thank you, ma'am, and we welcome you, ma'am. Now I'd like to call upon Dr. Madanareka to felicitate our resource person. Now, without any further ado, I welcome Mrs. Jemima Williams to take over the stage.
So good morning, everyone, and I extend my thanks to Ansuman ma'am for inviting me, because this is such a honor for me to talk or address future leaders who are going to impact in the governance. So thank you so much, ma'am, for the opportunity. Thank you. So I also extend my thanks to all the students who have contacted me, Vinayak and all other staff. I extend my thanks. And yeah, so today the topic that I would like to talk to you, as it was well mentioned, mindfulness and emotional well-being. So today I think the theme of the whole thing is mindfulness, right? Can I hear a few words from you? Like when the word mindfulness, the very word mindfulness, what comes to your mind? You all would have, yeah? Conscious, okay. Conscious. Huh? Thoughts, okay, thoughts. Being aware of thoughts and action, okay. Being aware of thoughts and action. Own satisfaction. Having an active mindset, beautiful. Peace, okay. Yeah? Can anyone just pass on the word? Bringing out the full potential.
Ma'am, using the full potential of our mind.
Awesome. Using the full potential. Excellent, excellent. Applause to you all. Good. Okay. So maybe the next slide. Before I could talk on mindfulness and emotional well-being, I just want to quickly give, as a student counselor in Madras Christian College, I completed my 3rd year and this is my 4th year I'm stepping in. Just want to quickly give a glimpse of your own fellow students. So fellow student, what they are going through, the concerns that our students and friends are fighting. Okay, so in general, I just wanted to capture, I thought as leaders, as future leaders, you get to know, you need to know this, because if you are mentally informed, mental health informed, leaders are very powerful. I trust such leaders, right? You need to be informed of mental health. So the concerns in the nature of concerns, if you see, emotional crisis, emotional distress, has risen a lot. The trajectory, if you see, the emotional crisis had gone up. So that's the main reason I thought if we could bring in or show some light on emotional well-being, that would be really helpful. Okay? So now coming on to mindfulness. Yes, as you all said, mindfulness is about thoughts, about bringing out potential, peace, bringing out actions, all fine. If you really decode the word mindfulness and see, externally speaking, mindfulness comes out with practices, mindfulness practices. You all would have heard about meditation and all those practices. But just I wanted to bring to you the core of mindfulness. This is nothing but the inner intentionality, the inner intention to be present at the moment. Inner intention to present at the moment. See, why it is important is because many times we either dwell in the past or in the future. Yes or no? Not at the present. Most of the time, regrets about the past. I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done this, I should have taken a better course, I should have done this, right? About the past, or we dwell in the future about uncertainties, what will happen, what's next, what. Right? So both the same, we are here or there, but not in the present. See, mindfulness, can we move on to the next slide? So mindfulness is this 4 words put together, kind of having an attentive intention to be in the present. Just pulling yourself up. See, this is not as easy as we are talking. Mindfulness is not easy as we are talking. Be present. No, it's not as simple. You have to, really break your shell from the past to come to the present. You have to crack open certain things. You have to say no to certain things. You have to, rip certain thought patterns, which is not easy. Sometimes very painful. Especially the emotional hurts of the past, traumatic experiences of the past, are not easy to say no, or easy to say, okay, let it wait, let me focus on the present. Not easy. That's exactly, we are going to dwell today on how being mindful of our emotions are going to help us to be, holistic leaders as you impact your governance. Yes, you're going to work on the governance, but I think there's much more to be done inside. Once certain things are settled inside, it will flow as you do. You all would have heard this word, the hurt person hurt others, right? But I want to bring another way. A healed person will bring healing with others, right? If we could work on the emotions inside, if we could regulate certain things inside, definitely that will reflect in whatever policy making or whatever that you are going to do in the future, it will play its role. Okay, so that is all about mindfulness, where your intention, you're attentively intending. See, intention requires your choice. Intention is not, a word just like that. Intentionality is a big word. It's a big word. It is a, it encompasses many things. Choice, you choose to determine to be someone. That is intentionality. You're choosing and determining to be focused on the present, with the tension of the future and the past. Okay, holding on to the tension, you are intentionally deciding to be present. When making decisions, when making life choices, you are intentionally being present. That is mindfulness. Getting it? That's the whole intention, the whole core about mindfulness. Now, maybe the next slide. I'm just explaining the vocabularies now: mindfulness, emotional well-being. What is emotional well-being? So here I just want to bring a little light on, we all use this word feelings. How many of you was not feeling good this morning? Yeah. Many times we don't feel like getting up. We don't feel like doing things. Especially we don't feel like attend classes or study or do anything. No, we feel like. But just because we feel like doing or not doing, are we doing it or not doing it? No, we are doing it. Still we are fighting it. What is the difference between these feelings and emotions? See, we know emotions are powerful, right? At the same time, you also have these feelings which comes often hits us. If you want to simply understand the difference, let me put it very simple. Emotion has a feeling which has a belief system behind. Feeling is just a feeling that you have every morning because of the happenings. Something happened, your friend didn't respond, or your text is not replied, or whatever, a word from your friend or something. Your happenings dictates your feelings. But when it comes to your emotions, there is always a belief system. There is always a strong hold or a strong thought pattern behind. That's why emotion is powerful. Emotion, we call it as energy. With emotions, we do things, right? It pushes us to do things. Why? Because there is a belief system attached. There is a cognitive part. There is a story involved. See, for a person to have, can we move to the next slide? See, these are few words: shame, failure, stressed, uncertainty, overwhelmed, exhausted. See, I think most of you can resonate with these words. Yes, maybe not now, but definitely we had our own seasons in our life when we were overwhelmed, exhausted, lost, right? It was not very easy. Especially this pandemic had hit each and every one of us so strong that everyone has a story. It was not easy for me to counsel students. You know, after post-pandemic, it was really difficult because the stories with which they come up is not as before. It has a mixed thing. It's multifaceted, I would call, because there is grief, there is fear, there is uncertainty, there is failure, there is shame, so much, you know. So this pandemic was not easy for us. Maybe we are coming out of pandemic of coronavirus, maybe. We are slowly off of our mask and all those things, but I don't know how far we have come out of the emotional, you know, hurt that this pandemic had left inside of us. Everyone, for that matter, everyone can relate with the loss of some loved ones, right? So this is the word emotions. See, emotions, if you see, every word, every emotions that we have has a story behind, has a storyline, has a past, has a history. There was a student who came, you know, just said like, "Mom, I don't, you know, feel like doing anything. I feel worthless. Worthless to the core." You know, when I asked him, "What's your name?" he said, "My name is Curse." I said, maybe he's pronouncing, I'm not getting it right. So I asked him like, "No, what's your name again?" He said, "Curse." C-U-R-S-E. I spelled again and I said, "Is it C-U-R-S-E?" Yes. See, for him to say that, it's not easy. We don't call ourselves like that. We don't. For a student to address, I'm a new person for him, I'm a stranger for him. The first time he's coming, and he's introducing himself to me as a curse. There must be something so heavy, so strong, that is, you know, kind of nudging him to say that. He simply said, "Ma'am, with whomever I associate, they'll have some problem. I am not good. It's better for me to die." That was a statement. Emotionally, people are kind of, you know, we are just manipulated, troubled, kind of strangulated at times, choked. See, we may look flourishing outside, just holding on to the smile and doing things, but internally our emotions are kind of choked basically because we don't get to the mindfulness of our emotions. It's painful to look to our own emotions. That's why we escape emotions. How are we escaping our emotions? We get ourselves busy, always with a phone or with something. Have you seen people listening to loud music? Do you think that they love that loudness? No, they don't want to listen to the silent cry of the heart. There is something that their own heart is saying which they don't want to hear because it's hurting. It's not so easy. I don't want to listen to my own voice. That's why I'm raising the volume. We kind of escape things. When this is what is happening, we cannot practice mindfulness as a strategy, as an exercise. That won't work. How much ever you do things outside, unless things inside are healed. See, always the process of healing or process is inside out. It's not outside in. It always goes from inside out. It's high time, I think, as student leaders, right? You have to start focusing and take time to address something that is deep down within yourself. Can we move to the next slide? So this is something I want to talk before we could really, dwell on to other things. The power of vulnerability. Very strong word, right? Vulnerable. Being vulnerable, we all think being vulnerable is weakness. Before we could move on to the second phase of being vulnerable with others, my question today is, are we really vulnerable to ourselves? Are you okay listening to your own story? Or are you ashamed of your own self? I read a beautiful book. It says, The Silent Cry of Your Heart. The title itself is The Silent Cry of Your Heart. The very title, kind of gripped me for the whole book. See, we all have stories. I'm telling you, we all have. We have our past. We have unfinished business, emotional unfinished business that we are not ready to face. And now that we are talking about mindfulness, why are we talking about past? Because if we are not working on what has happened then, that is going to manipulate or dictate your decision right now in the present moment. Your past, never allow your past to dictate your present or your future. How you can do that? That's where you have to be, mindful of your own self. This is where the whole concept of mindfulness comes into. Why don't you take some time to just listen to your own story? See, we talk so much, we are very open or we are very free to talk about our physical discomforts. Any one of you, if you're hurt outside, if you have a fracture, if you have a stomach upset, you're not hesitating to just share to your friend. You're not. Or you're very open to go to your teacher and say, just excuse me, I'm not doing good. But are we open enough, or are we providing a safe culture? Are you finding a safe place where you can go and say, I'm not doing good inside. There is something that's stopping me. And if any one of you here feel stuck somewhere there and you feel like, I'm all alone, struggling and fighting and don't know what to do, I just want to introduce you. If you have not known about student counseling services is one such place where you can feel safe and not judged. Okay? We honor your story. We respect your story, whatever it is. And it is confidential. Okay, if at all you're fighting it all alone. Don't ever feel left alone. We are there. And I'm just using this platform to also tell about counseling services. See, counseling is not advising on that. It's not a place where you are dictated of what to do, but it is a place where we want to walk alongside with you. Okay? Definitely, we need someone when we are walking through the tunnel. And once you see the light, you're all set to go. But sometimes you need some hand-holding. And you need some professional hand-holding. That is what we do it in counseling services. Okay, coming back to our topic. So emotions, right? See, if we are not handling our emotions, if we are not working on it, if you're not ready to share it with others, we are going to live with a false self. How many of you feel that you're having many masks for yourself? Mask when you come to college, mask at home, and not this mask that we are all now wearing. We all have our own mask at work, at home, with your friends. And finally, when you hit your bed, you don't have any mask to hide yourself. You don't have that mask. That's when the true self comes and contradicts your false self. And you're so exhausted. Clear? Why I want to stress this emotion is because there is always a belief system behind the emotion. And if you're not targeting the belief system, if you're not listen to the emotion and see what is really making me do this, if you're not working on the belief system, and that is going to define you. Many times we say, ma'am, I am a short-tempered person. Ma'am, I am this, I am that. No. Have you ever questioned it? Who defined you? Is that your past or someone in your life? Have you reconsidered your own definition? See, these are all part of mindfulness. Taking an intentional decision to sit, taking a pause for your own self. How many times, let me ask this question, how many times have you taken or spent at least 10 minutes, maybe this past 1 week, 10 minutes for yourself to just sit and, just reflect yourself and see what's going on? How many of you? Good, wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Very good, appreciate it. And others, I would encourage you to do it. Take some time. Don't run in the flow. Don't be always busy. You know what? If you could spend time to reflect yourself, you have all energy to do whatever that you're doing in a very limited time frame. It will not be exhausting. It will not at all be exhausting. So it starts from inside. Clear? And especially here at this point, I want to touch with a very important and a sensitive topic. That is, if you have any history of abuse in the past, I'm telling you, it can be any abuse. It can be an emotional abuse, can be a physical abuse, verbal abuse, maybe not now, when you were very young, as a little child, sexual abuse, whatever it is. If, they are kind of strongholds. Strongholds is some, have you seen kingdoms, like where they build a wall around their palaces, wall around the whole city? That is stronghold. That is a protection for the whole city. That's how our past, especially when it is abuse, that's how it builds a wall around us so that it just keeps us inside. And mindfulness or emotional regulation is all about breaking that stronghold, which is not always easy. Okay? See, if at all, if there is a story here which has abuse in it, I'm telling you, please don't hold it to yourself. This is a time that you have to regulate, reconsider, re-narrate your story where healing is required. Okay? Just next one. So I told you, every emotion has a belief system, right? So let's take, if there is an abuse, it would have given you a belief system that you are not worthy. You have did something wrong and you are not worthy at all. Or something would have happened in the past which would have defined you, or given you something, some message, which I want you to write it down. Maybe if something is coming up, please jot it down. But as you go home, take some time to see what is the belief system for all the destructive emotions that I'm going through. Not all emotions are wrong, right? Emotions are good, emotions are beautiful, emotion drives us, emotions are so good. But because of the distortions that has happened in the past, now it's kind of, which is for good, is now destroying us. I want you to take some time, okay? Pause and see what is behind this emotion. Why I have this relationship pattern like this, right? Why is it I'm not able to, I'm always testing the ground before I could trust anyone. There is an emotion behind, and there is a belief system that is hiding behind. Okay? So this is where the mindfulness comes into play. Making the choice to reflect, that is the coreness of mindfulness. Choosing, determining that I am not going to leave any emotions without screening. I'm just going to just know what is behind. And once it is healed, I'm telling you, your full potential will come out. It's something like, it's kind of choking, strangulating. If emotions are strangulating, your potential will not come up. You'll be working hard, you'll be draining all your energy, but the end result will be, kind of 50, 60, the max, with all your tiredness and exhaustion. But where you could give 90 or 100, you're just making it to 40 or 50 because somewhere something is stuck. And that is where you have to, let it open. Clear? Are you getting it? So this is all about mindfulness, and this is the route that you have to work. Many times we work with a shoot. Ma'am, this is not good, that is not good, I feel like this. Yes, all that is fine. And if you are going to go with a symptomatic treatment, that today I'm not feeling good, so I do this. I go for shopping, I just go for a movie. I'm just insulating things. You know insulation? If there is an electric leak or something, we just do a taping, insulation tape we use. That's not all about connecting it back. We're just insulating. Many times we insulate it. Insulating is not mindfulness. Clear? It's not insulation. Don't insulate. Also, I want you to note down, if at all you're insulating, what are the measures that you use to insulate yourself? Many times I've seen students jump from one relationship to another relationship and another relationship and get fed up so much and finally come with self-harm or with a suicidal ideation because they are trying to insulate and insulate and insulate and nothing is working out, it's leaking. Somewhere things are leaking and they're not able to content it, and finally they say it's waste living. Like that is where they come. If you feel that there is something that you're insulating, don't insulate it. That's okay to be vulnerable. That's okay to find a safe person and share. And if you don't find, you have counseling services here. Okay? The next one. So now comes, if the emotions are not handled, if the belief system that is behind is not handled, okay? If you're not, that is where the word stress comes into play. You go ask a little child, no stress, stress-free. But I don't know, nowadays even children have stress, a lot of stress, right? Online classes, all those things. But stress actually becomes stressful when these things are not met. when the underneath belief system and the emotions, if that is not healed, if that is not touched and viewed with openness, without shame, if you could see your own story, that is when you are relieved of stress. That is when you can accept things. That's okay to fail, that's okay to do mistake, that is okay. You can be lenient to yourself. Otherwise, we are very rigid to ourselves. We can accept the weakness of others sometimes, but we are not ready to accept our own weaknesses. We expect so much for ourselves. That builds onto everything. When you have this intentional choice to look to your own stories and see, yes, I'm in the process of healing, I'm coming out, I'm working on it, you will be really lenient to yourself. That's okay. Sometimes you have to pat yourself to say, that's okay. Don't worry. Sometimes you may not have someone to say that to you. Tell that to yourself. Have some self-care for yourself. That's when the word stress will be out of your life. See, I'm telling you, not all stress are bad. No. When you go for a walk, when you do cardio, when you do all those things, your heart palpitates, pressure increases. The same thing happens when you're stressed. The same body responses happens, but the only thing is the hormones that are secreted are different because the triggering factors are different. Here the intention is different, there the intention is different. The core, the driving factor is different. Not all stress are good. This stress is good for me. When I go run and I cannot even, I gasp for breath when I run, that's okay. That's good for me. We intentionally do it, right? But why are we not considering panic? Because that's the other end. Because the driving thing is different. Okay? Here, I have a good intention about myself. I have a good feeling for myself. I want to build myself. Maybe I have to reduce 5 more kg, or I have a good constructive things for myself which makes the whole process easy and refreshing and nurturing. But on the other end, when it emerges out of a wrong definition about myself, or when it emerges out of an undealt emotions, it becomes stressful. It becomes distressing, right? It collapses you. The same thing. Because the root is different. Here it comes out to nurture me. There it comes out from the place where it is not healed. It's still hurting. It's still raw, still bleeding. Clear? Can we move? Okay. Now I think I explained to you where exactly we are when the emotions are not touched. Hope you got an idea of what emotion is and how we have to be mindful. If not, how it becomes stressful on us. And now let's see few little things. I'm not going to give you much. Definitely, I think Janice ma'am has lots to speak about life skills and how to handle things. But I just quickly want to talk a bit on, how you can regulate your emotions. Maybe governing yourself, self-governance starts with emotional regulation. Okay, so that is where we are going to jump in. Just kind of scoping skills. See, what happens is, with students, they may have some issues, maybe family issues or some problem. What they do is, they try to handle themselves and they choose some unhealthy coping skills here and there, okay? So, as I told you, they may try another relationship, or they may try substances, drug or substances just to escape, okay? Or they try doing something from their own. Some students are really good at it. They choose proper healthy coping skills and they come out. But not many. When they choose unhealthy coping skills, they add on to the problem and problem and problem. And now they come to a point where their optimal functioning, their normal functioning is at stake, and that's when they feel we have to seek help. When they hit the rock, when they feel nothing is working out anymore, they either seek help or they take an other side of the decision. But when they seek help at that point, what happens is it's so difficult for us to dig down deep through the unhealthy coping skills to find the problem. Clear? So this is where knowing the healthy skills, healthy coping skills, healthy strategies, how to handle yourself, the healthy tips is very, very important. Okay? The next one. Okay. One important tip is the locus of control. In the process, when we are not handling emotions properly, we tend to put our blame or responsibility on things around. If only this had not happened to me, if only this had not, if only this, either we shift the responsibilities or focus, or sometimes we keep blaming ourselves, that is there. But as a tip for handling emotional regulation, I just want to leave you with this one thought, that is the last question, learning how to take charge of what is within your control. Many times what we do is we try control things that are not under our control. That's what we say, control the controllables. Is your time within your control limit? Yes. Right? There are certain things that are under your control, under your limitation. Why don't you start from there? Why don't you, your energy is in your hands. Why don't you start from there? Your emotion is yours. Yours. Why don't you start from there? Taking charge from the, from your limitations, from your control area. In that, focusing on the emotions. As you're taking charge, sometimes we have lost our charge over our own things. For example, our emotions are not regulated by ourselves, or not manipulated by ourselves, by others. Have you seen remote control? Remote. Yes, everyone. See, we press a button here. Imagine there is a TV and we both have a remote control, and if I press one thing will be screened. If ma'am presses two, another thing will be screened. That's exactly we are. People press buttons and we are manipulated. Right? Situation, things, past, maybe future, the uncertainties, fear, whatever. Each time the button is pressed, I'm either getting angry or getting low or triggered. Our emotions is not under our charge anymore. As a first coping strategy, what I want you to know is, take control of your emotions. If you feel that your control is already lost and you have given it to others, make a list of people to whom you have handed your remote control and get it back. No, I'm not. See, we have gone to that extent, even traffic will trigger us. We have given our emotion, even to everything, now to even non-living things, happenings, everything. Right? One honk. That's it. You're lost. And we come with the same emotion to the class. Gone. Things are gone the whole day. Right? We have given our control to others and things and happenings, and we are kind of troubled. We are overwhelmed. This is where the mindfulness comes to play. Just take time to see who is holding on to your remote control. Get that things back. That's why I was sharing about the past. The importance of past I was talking, because sometimes you lost your emotional remote control in the past. Go search it, bring it out. That's a first step. You take hold of the remote control. Your emotion is yours. Don't feel ashamed of your emotions. Don't feel contempt of your emotions. Take your emotions, accept it, and take the full control of your emotions. Don't let anyone control or trigger or manipulate or dictate your emotions. That is the first regulation that you have to do as you're processing mindfulness. Clear? So that is the main area that you have to take in charge of, the locus of control. And also, now that you got back your emotions, now step on to the other areas like your time, your energy, okay, your people, all the controllables. With that emotional control within you, now have control over other areas. This locus of control, this is what exactly is the vital for you to govern yourself inside. And this happens by being mindful. Okay? So, the main thing that you have to go do for yourself, maybe after this or in the evening, reflect back to get back all the remote controls back. It is not easy because you would have lost it with loved ones, and by now you would have created a bondage with them. Sometimes it demands saying no, setting boundaries. Sometimes it demands, you have to pay some cost for it. That's okay. That's more important. Set priorities for your emotional regulations. And definitely, I'm telling you, whatever that you learn will be fruitful inside of you. Clear? So this is the message that I have for you today. Hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can ask. I have a few more tips to go, but I think keeping time in mind, just want to leave this message with you. Thank you so much. Let me go for questions now. Okay. Thank you, thank you. I would just quickly ask if you have any questions. Yes.
Ma'am, my question is that we've talked about how we need to take care of ourselves, but it is also important. We spend our everyday life talking to friends, classmates, so they are also emotionally damaged. They also have emotional problems, and that directly or indirectly affects us. So we need to be aware of their emotional status and how to cope up with that, so it could be something mutually positive for both of us to come out of it. And that's my one question, how to do it. And another is you asked us a question that how much time do we reflect on ourselves. I do reflect on myself, but it just leads to more questions. When I take a bit of time, I reflect what I've been doing in my weeks, how I need to go through my internships or other things. It just ends up with more questions which I could not answer. And it again comes to stress, anxiety. It is a cycle which many of us could not come out of it. That is my second question. No, ma'am. My second question is that, like, you told us you need to reflect on ourselves 10 minutes a day. So people who reflect, taking myself, I reflect what I do in everyday basis, my classes, my internships, I reflect on those. While reflecting, at the end of this thing, I just come up with more questions and confusions. I don't know how to solve them. How do I go through it?
Thank you.
And one more thing also, ma'am. It is about stress. We also talked about how stressful this is. And one thing what I relate from my thinking is that I relate stress to being guilty, ma'am. So what I'm stress to guilt. If I have an assignment, I have a duty to done, which when I could not do it within the deadline, that turns into guilt, and that guilt in turn turns into stress. And even this is also a process that many of us could not come out of it, ma'am.
Okay, so maybe, I don't know, I'll answer the question to the extent I could answer, okay? So, maybe the first thing that you said, like, how the emotions of others could, impact you as well. Yes, very true, very, very true, how the friends, emotions will affect you. But the thing is, it starts from you. It starts from within. When you are working on yourself, actually you can handle and you can be the safe place for the other person as well. Okay, so that's what today morning I was talking to a group of student leaders, and my question to them was, we have different, we have culture for MCC. Can we accommodate a safe culture also inside the MCC culture? A safe place, a safe culture where friends can speak to themselves without being judged and without being, can that be possible, and how that can be possible? So, I think to handle others' emotion, it starts from us, from within us. If I'm overwhelmed, it's difficult for me even to handle another person, who is not even troubled. Forget about a person who is troubled, right? So I think it starts from us. And coming on to your reflection, as you said, when we are all okay with time management, like how did I do my internship, how did I do my test, how did I manage my time, we're all okay with it. When I'm talking about reflection, I'm not talking about how do you spend your time. The members you met, no, that is not what I was intending. The reflection is the questions that you had after reflecting on your intention. That is exactly, I want you to sit on the question and see what is coming out. That is the actual reflection. Reflection is not, making a time schedule, 1 to 2, I did this. No, that is not reflection at all. That's kind of time management. But I want you to sit there and ask difficult questions, and where you feel uncomfortable, that is where I want you to sit and see what that is telling you more. Get that question for yourself. That is a starting point where you can move on to see the strongholds behind, the belief systems behind. Clear? Okay. Hope I answered your question, but yeah.
Like, what if you're stuck in a place that you feel like you're stuck in a place that you can never get off? You're saying every day we need to dedicate 10 minutes to ourselves, but what triggers you is yourself? Like, what if I start overthinking something and that leads to me hurting others? And what if you're scared of yourself?
Good. What happens if I'm stuck overthinking, or I'm no longer, that is where I tell you, seek help. You need someone to walk. That's why I told you counseling services is one such help. And if you have anyone safe, you feel safe, any significant people in your life, just try finding them. See, help seeking is a sign of maturity. Don't see it as a weakness. When you feel, see, many times we are holding on to your story because we are ashamed of it and we don't want to be open. That's why I talked about the power of vulnerability. Just being vulnerable, we think it's all about weakness. No, that is a strength. It requires strength to open the story. It's the power that you have to break the shell. Okay, so when you're stuck, when you feel that I'm not going to help myself, find someone in your life who is safe, where you can share yourself. That can be anyone in your life, but again, make a right choice of choosing that person. Let them be a safe, confidential person who could help you and nurture you. And if you're getting a professional help, nothing like it. Clear? So, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us and sharing your thoughts and knowledge with us. And I believe that I speak for everyone when I say that ma'am has made us think a lot of things that we haven't given a thought before. So thank you, ma'am. Now, participants, please fill the other side of the form. Volunteers will be coming around to collect it. Participants will be given another set of form for the next session. So please fill the pre-session and then later after the session fill the post-session and together submit the forms to the volunteers. Next we have Dr. Janice Shiji, Assistant Professor of Social Work Department since 2005 and is also one of the Chief Staff Advisor for the Professional Social Workers Association for Competence and Excellence, the PACE, as well as the Cabinet in charge for the department. She completed her PhD and Masters in Social Works under the field of Medical and Psychological Studies. She also has her own YouTube channel under the name Direction of Life, which contains videos on giving directions to life, specifically for students, teachers, and parents. On behalf of my department, I welcome you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Madanarika ma'am to felicitate our guest. Now I welcome Dr. Janice Shiji to take over the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. Are you all, as ma'am said, are you all in reflection? Okay? Not now, by evening they can be, okay? So wake up. So again, good afternoon. Right. So actually, ma'am had set a platform for me to start with. So I should really thank her for that. Mindfulness, okay, and youth, okay? And so I am going to talk about life skills, okay? Life skills, which is one of the ways to overcome the challenges of life and to become a better person. In that sense, to be a better leader, helping you in effective governance. That is the ultimate thing, right? So, life skills, right? Have you all heard WHO? What is it? World Health Organization. World Health Organization has given 10 core life skills, okay? Many life skills are there, but 10 core, very important life skills. So first, let me tell you, what are skills? Let me ask you, what are skills? Okay, the ability to do something better. Okay, even before that, I would like to ask you, there are 3 very important factors for self-development or success in life. Okay, 3 very important things. The first one begins with the letter A. A. No. Ability, attention. Everybody can just say something in A. That is attitude. Okay, good, very good. Clap for her. It is attitude. Okay, and the next one begins with the letter S. I was talking about it. skills. Okay, skills. Okay, and the third letter is K. Kindness, knowledge. Okay, I'm just rushing up because just looking at the time. So knowledge. So this is called ask principle, ASK. Ask. Very three important ingredients that we should have for success. Okay, knowledge you get everywhere, college, and in every other place you can get knowledge. Okay, and skill development, skills. You have to upgrade yourself in your skills. Okay, skill is something that which can develop with practice. Okay, you can, it is something that you can learn, that you can really acquire. So that is skill. So skill will come only by practice, practice and practice. That's why they say practice makes a man perfect. So that is skill. Attitude, so I'm not going into that. Okay, attitude is all about, you know, emotional well-being and many other things. All those things comes under that. Of the three, attitude is the most important. You should have a very strong positive attitude. And second one is skill. And I would say the last one is knowledge, because knowledge you can get. Knowledge is like, for example, I can say, cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Alcohol is really bad. Everyone knows, right? Everyone is aware of it. Knowledge. But then, is anything working out? Right? It is written on the cigarette packet itself. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health, and we smoke. So it's always there. So if the knowledge is not applied to our lives through the positive attitude, then knowledge is a mere waste. Okay? But we are really focusing on knowledge acquirement only many a times. Okay? Giving little less importance to skill, least importance to attitude. But it should be the reverse. Okay, I'm just telling that for your information. Now coming to skills. Now skill, there are different skills like technical skills, whichever field you are in. Okay, skills that will help you to get a career, a job. All those are other skills. I'm talking about life skills. Life skills are skills that help you to face everyday challenges of life. Okay, so that is life skills, and WHO has given 10 core life skills, which is very, very important for us. Otherwise, you will not be able to manage the emotions, you will not be able to manage the stress, and all the knowledge and all the technical skills that you learn, that you develop would really be a waste if you don't have proper life skills. So life skills is something that you really can focus to become a better person, a better leader, to be good in effective governance. Right, because if you people are focusing on governance, then we have to have extremely good life skills, because your decision is going to impact many. Right, now many life skills are there, 10 core life skills. Okay, I'm just going to touch on few things only. Really, we don't have time to touch on everything. Okay, for governance, I thought we will start with problem solving, because ma'am was also telling that we have many problems, right? One of the things you have to really analyze and see where exactly, what is it, and locus of control, everything she was telling. So let's start from that. Right. How many of you have problems in life? Oh, you don't have a problem? Huh? Everyone do have. So you didn't raise your hand. I thought I can make you sit here. So that's what. Okay. So everyone has lot of problems. How can we categorize? Personal, family, work, job, career, whatever it is. Okay? Which one would be the severe problems according to you? Be open, be interactive. Okay? Family problems are most hectic, ma'am. Or job is really, ma'am, very bad. Or anything, you're not in job, maybe college, career, appdi. Can I use Tamil also in between? How many of you cannot understand Tamil? Only 1, 2. You were in Tamil Nadu for quite some time, no? Then you should have learnt by now. That's a skill. Yeah. What language? No, your mother tongue is? So you can understand Tamil, of course. So I'll be using Tamil in between, because sometimes only when we use that, it will make the full effect will come. Okay. So problems are there, right? So problems are there for everyone, as ma'am was telling, for an LKG student or a 5th standard fellow or a college student or anybody for that matter, problems are there. Now, can you name some of the problems, just for out of interest? Can you just say some of the problems that you are facing? If it is not too personal, you can very well share. Just come up. Meeting the deadlines is one big problem. Yes, I understand. It's there everywhere, ma, even in job or wherever it is. Meeting, because it gives a lot of pressure. Okay, some other problems. Louder? Oh, financial problems. That's a perennial universal problem. Okay, financial problem. What is your financial problem? Okay, being a student, maybe your parents are not giving you enough money, right? Okay, any other problem? Any other problem? Balancing the multitask. So many tasks are there, pressurized, okay? And lot of emotional problems, the baggage that we have. Okay, now, problem solving is one skill, okay? Is a life skill. For problem solving, the first step is, you know what? Many of us are not able to tell here is because you have so many problems, you really do not know what is the biggest problem for which you really need to work on. Okay, problems today, it is not solved. As she said, it has gone to the dustbin and some other problem came in and some other problem as a result of this came in. It's one total fruit salad over there and you really do not know what is the, sometimes, see, okay, if you have a problem, how do you feel, how do you know that you have a problem? You are undergoing a problem. How do you experience it? Mindfulness. How do you feel that you have a problem? When you feel your efficiency is not up to the level, you know that you can perform better, but you are not able to perform, so you feel that there is some problem in you. Good? Any other people? Everybody? Tension is there. Distraction. I am not able to concentrate. If there is a problem, I am not able to concentrate in any task. I am always distracted. Yeah? Good, very good. Carelessness. I make mistakes, silly mistakes. Carelessness always comes in. Okay, in whatever I'm doing. And what we do is that, oh sorry, careless. And we just leave it and go like that. Okay, but there is a deep-rooted, see, if there is any problem in us, we are always distressed. We have a discomfort. We are not our true self. Sometimes we get very angry. We are irritable, right? Procrastination, excellent. We keep postponing things. We're just not interested to do anything at all. But we are not such people. But we are just postponing. Is it tomorrow we'll see? Tomorrow we'll see. So we think that these are all, but there is a deep-rooted cause for all those things. So if you really want to address on these issues, sometimes it becomes our identity itself. I'm a short-tempered person, ma'am was telling. It becomes an identity. That's not your identity. That's because you did not address your problem at the right time. Or sometimes we say that I am a person who always postpones things. You come to the safer zone to say that I am like that only. I don't plan out things at all. I do whatever I feel like that. You think that that is you and you are safe with that, right? But but you are actually distressed within. Why? See, this person comes always late. Teachers will say. So you are always a late and very lazy fellow. So like that we are having an identity for ourselves. But that's not us. So the problems always, we always feel that there is some problem. So what we have to do is that we have to address it as soon as possible. So for that is problem solving. First step is to identify what the problem is. To identify what the problem is. Many of us are in the position that we really do not know what exactly our problem is. Okay, so first when we are able to, so how to identify what exactly the problem is? You have to ask many questions. What is it? Why am I upset? How is it I'm going to do? When did my irritation start? Where did it exactly start? You have to ask a lot of questions to yourself. This reflection. You have to ask a lot of questions to yourself and you will be able to, I used to do this. I do not know, without nobody teaching about life skills or anything, when I was studying my MSW over here, for me one problem is that there was no Google and other things for us to get the material. So if I lose concentration. When I have any problem, I am not able to concentrate in the class. So I know that there is something which is disturbing me. So I usually write in the notebook where I'm writing itself, I always think, I think, what is it disturbing me? Is it because my father scolded me, or because when this fellow told this, or because I did that? Something and all, whatever is there comes, I just write it down. But then I think that, oh, this is not the thing. And finally I say, oh, this is exactly what is disturbing me. I'll be able to filter and pinpoint, and this is exactly what is troubling me. So once we exactly reach to a place where this is the main cause of my disturbance, then half the problem is solved. Okay, and then we can work on it. Okay, now next step is what to work on it, how to work on solving that. You know what has caused this problem, you know the cause. So if a problem is there, a solution should be there. Solution should be there. So the solution can be in different ways. So we have to really work on different solutions. Different solutions. Many solutions are there for a single problem. Some will be a practical one, some will not be practical at all. But you can just list out everything. Suppose your meeting deadlines is your problem. You can just think, why is it? So you're postponing it. Okay, why am I postponing it? So here comes another skill which is called as critical thinking skill, which is a very, very important skill, critical thinking skill. Critical thinking is actually going deeper into any thought. So why am I postponing? Because I'm not having time. Why do you don't have time? Because I'm getting up late. Every day morning I'm getting up late. Why are you getting up late? Because I'm sleeping late. Why are you sleeping late? Because I'm seeing WhatsApp chatting for a long time. Why are you so much into that? So like that you can actually go inside and inside and inside, and you can find out, okay, now this is where I have to work on. This is where I really have to work on. So critical thinking will help you to actually get into the right practical solution mode. So but you have to really think a lot. You cannot just brush it aside to say, I'm a person like that. Okay. So what will happen is too many things will, you have many identities which is not you yourself. Okay. So that is critical thinking. So I'm just touching upon every life skill now, not going into detail. Creative thinking is another skill, creative thinking. In this process of coming out with solution, you can be very creative. You can be very creative to find out some solutions which may not be everybody is using, but you can think differently, out of the box. Okay? That is creative thinking. I am asking one question. For example, for creative thinking, we use pencil, right? We use pencil for writing. Can you tell other uses of pencil, but not writing? Don't say that it can be used for writing. For what are the other purposes for which this pencil can be used? Drawing, writing, no need. Don't tell the usual thing. Louder? Louder. Car? For carving. Okay, for carving. Okay, it can be used to make our models. Think more creatively. Huh? Poking holes. There comes. Okay, when you don't have a punching machine, poke the hole. Easily we do it, right? Pencil is used for that. Anything else? More. Fighting? It's a self-defense tool. Okay, then more. Yeah, very criminal guy you are. Huh? For murdering somebody, extreme. Okay, to kill a person, then anything else? Louder? Oh, superb. As a clip, one stick. See how she is very much interested in that area, so she is able to find the use of pencil in that way. Okay, not that I'm not telling you're interested in murdering and all, no. But see, therefore, our mind is actually based on our interest, our focus, and the problem, and with the available resources, we will be able to think creatively. Creative thinking is there in all of us only, but 90% of people don't think creatively. They would like to go with the flow. Okay, they would always like to go with the flow. They would always like to don't think differently, because they say that if I do something which is not that people others are doing it, then I will be questioned or ridiculed or scorned or whatever it is. I don't want all those things. But you know that is the best thing for you. But you are just carried away by what the others will think. Okay, you are just carried away by what the others will think, and you actually are not coming out of it. Maybe that is one good example. Okay, so your creative thinking skill is actually coming down because of that. So in this process, I would say there are many skills that are there that is required for you. Communication is a skill, empathy is a skill, and many other skills are there. She mentioned about coping with stress and coping with emotions. So these are all the skills. But a great one skill is, okay, now I'm asking you a question. You are all born in this world. Is your birth by chance or by choice? How many of you say it is chance? How many of you say it is choice? And what are the others? In between, huh? Sometimes chance, sometimes choice. Is it so? Okay, it is not even your parents' choice. Right. In the previous session, people who say that it is by choice, if a question was given to me, if God had asked me, okay, if a choice was given to me about my birth, I would have chosen Switzerland to be my birthplace. I wouldn't have chosen Krompet, India to be my birthplace, or a billionaire as my parent, or whatever it is. No choice was given to me. No choice for you. It was just by chance. You cannot do anything about it. Or else I would have said I should have had a curly hair, beautiful hair, or a tall person. I was not given a chance. I was not given a choice. Okay, your birth, you cannot do anything. You are like this. But second question, self-development. Self-development, is it a chance or a choice? It is your choice. Developing yourself, developing your life skills, developing yourself to achieve whatever you want to solve your problem and to go high up is your choice. It is not chance at all. Okay, so when you are sitting in a class, you really want to develop English. And you know that speaking English is the only way. You have understood that that is one core problem for you. And therefore, you want to really work on that. Public speaking, or you really want to talk to the teachers in English, and you're trying to attempt. What will happen in the class when you try to say something? Pakkathil irukkaran what will say? Hello, Petra. Right? Odane Peter or whatever it is, you're trying to show off and all those things. Heroism. Ore heroism. So you have decided this is your life, but they are there. 90% of people who are there outside now are always there to like put you down. Okay, now there are girls who really want to be very smart, this, that, and they'll come out and everything. And then again, they'll say, girls, now what is it? You're trying to show off too much or what? This, that, and everything. They may comment on the gender and the etiquette that a gender female should behave. And anda madri ella solli. I've seen a lot of my students who come very vibrant and everything. After some time, down. Reason is they are influenced by the people around them. They are influenced by the people around them, the comments of the people around them and everything. Okay? This really happens for youth quite a lot. Okay? This happens and they determine your personality, they define you, and you sit in a place, you're not, even if you have the skill of problem solving, you want to go creative, you are not able to exercise it because of your, that self-esteem or self-confidence or your problems in yourself. Okay, that is mindfulness, where you really think for the present and see what is the reality. Now this is my life, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be bothered about even if they comment or whatever it is. I'm going to speak, let them say it is okay. I'll still be friends with them, it's okay. After some time you can really feel that they will not comment. It will just go away like that. But if you take another choice, then your life is gone. Okay? Now, not much of speaking. I would like to show you a video. Okay? Because, and it's a small movie clipping also. Would like to see a movie now? Yes? Okay, small movie, and you must have seen this, but it is just a small thing where after this we'll have discussions about how people around influence us and how our self is affected and lot of other mindfulness factors. All right? Okay? So, yeah, the first one. How many of you have watched English? Okay, now we'll say, oh, we watched it. But now this is a one small scene. Look at it in this perspective of mindfulness. Okay. Any problem? Problem solving. We have another problem also coming up, so we'll have to manage that time. So should we break and then come back or anything? Now we'll continue, but 10 minutes. $1:30, $1:20, that's what I'm telling. So we break and come back after the prayer, or we have to stop it fully? Because it will not, I mean, this will be just 6 minutes if we start. Okay, anyway, we'll start. We'll see how it comes. Anyway, the sound is not there much, so just observe everything, and we'll have a discussion. Hello? You thought I'll play you the full movie? Oh, really? Okay, so this scene, no, is very nice scene. Even it was a feeble voice, were you able to follow that? Follow everything? Yes. Now, I just want you to, here we have many things that we can connect with whatever we have spoken, how the others, see how the way Sridevi entered inside. Happy? She was really excited with that new place. She was looking at things. Her mind was free. She was cool. Right? And from since when she started becoming nervous? Since when? The first jolt, when did it come? No, exactly tell me very specific. She was just looking like that, somebody was kissing something and she was really, Indian, no, so she was really, oh my God, is this how in the other country? So excited about everything and just looking and then walking and suddenly she had a jolt. When was it? Let me see your observation. Exactly. When the customer, the waiter, that lady in the counter, she called, next, big sound, tone of the voice. In communication itself, we have verbal and non-verbal. 70% of things that are communicated are through non-verbal communication. So when the tone is really big and when she turned back and she saw that big eyes and all those things and that's it. Oh my God, there came down. Okay, that's all of us. When we look at our teachers or maybe when we have our experience in school, parents or whatever it is, lot of people, you know, are influencing us through their non-verbal, unempathetic approach towards us, everything. Okay, then what happened? We had a problem, no? 1:20, we have to leave. That problem got solved by itself. So we can continue be here. Okay, now, can you tell? Then what happened? Then what did she ask for? The first thing, what did that counter lady ask? Counter lady said something. How are you doing? She said, how are you doing? That's what she said. Okay? Next, and then that big face, how are you doing? This madam thought, doing. She thought, what do you want? That's what she thought. English was very clear. I think she can understand how are you doing also. But her state of mind was not that she's not able to understand. Non-verbal played a major role. Action spoke louder than words. Okay? And then she started, okay, she's asking, what do you want? Tell fast. That pressure. And then she started telling, looking at that, and then she said something. She wanted to eat. She was feeling hungry only. And then she said, cheese, burger, this, that, and lot of options. Confusions coming in. Confusions in life, decision making. So immediately you can say, she said, water. She changed her thought. Vanda pass, Sami, I don't want anything. I just want water. Give me just water. For that, what did they ask? Sparkle or spotless or whatever it is. Chilled. Still water and sparkled. Oh, okay. I do not know. So Sridevi would have been worse than us, no? So then she said, oh, is there a different kind of all those things? So then she said, something she said. And then she said, coffee is enough. Again changed her thought. Many of us are also, we decide on something, we want to do something, we keep changing. Our decisions, our thoughts, our approach. And then she said coffee. Again, there came a problem. Cappuccino, latte, this, that, and everything. Gone. That's it, extreme for Sridevi. And she said, nice coffee, that is enough. Nice coffee. And she said, here we give nice coffee only. Then finally, she herself helped. She said, I'll give you a cappuccino or Americano or whatever it is. And she said, okay, be it whatever it is, you give. And then $10. You can see Sridevi's hand was shivering. Her body, the stress level has come to her so much that her body started reacting. Her body was so much shivering, she had to literally put all those. Now, there was another person sitting next to that counter lady, who did a remarkable job. What was that lady doing? How was her expression, non-verbal expression? When Sridevi was asking something, this madam, she will look at her. And the other one who's sitting there, she'll say, I do not know, you manage with this person, okay, I'm not in the scene at all. One small expression is that Sridevi is looking at that and she's thinking that I'm such a hopeless person. They are so fed up with me. I have to escape from this place. I'm not at all like, I'm all the shame and all the insult is coming. So the other person could have actually, okay, that's a big line. You come here, I'll help you. I know what your problem is. That's all. But then they didn't. They were actually mocking. And finally she got, and when she was going, this counter lady is telling, at least can't you say a thank you? After all this damage, she's also expecting a thank you. So we are very focused on the rules, formalities and everything. The world around is like that. And then she says thank you, she falls down and all those things, and she goes away, escape, running, and she's coming and she's crying, sobbing like anything. Okay, now why did she cry so much? Is it because she did not get coffee? Yes? She couldn't handle the situation, or more than that, the insult, the fear, the insult, the shame in front of everyone. Okay, she just couldn't bear it. So, and she couldn't even cry there. People cannot even cry in front of others. That's why she came out, avoided the situation, avoided the problem, ran out of the problem and came and sat in one separate place and started crying. Right? Okay, good. And at that time, a hand came in over there. Okay? And that person, gave the coffee and said that, not good in English, but extremely good in non-verbal. Empathy was there. And then he said, that lady, bad. Coffee, good. That's all. Lady, bad. Don't worry, I understand that lady is bad, no? So she felt a kind of a support from somebody. We can see that she wiped her tears and she said thank you, and she was sitting there. Right? And then again, what happened? There was a call from the other girl, okay, and a bus came. What is that was written on that? Learn English in opportunity is coming there. A support is, when there is a problem, when you are in emotional trauma, always there is a support in some way or the other. Counseling services or significant people around us seeking, or there will be people, you only have to identify. There are people who can give support, it's always there. Don't think that you are completely lost. Nobody can understand. Even if 10 people cannot understand, one person will be there. Okay, we just have to cling on to that. And then comes always, opportunities are always coming in. How can I tackle this? So she looked at, in fact, the other girl also said that 4 weeks learning English is not possible at all, and but she didn't take that. She was so determined that she was looking at it. She just noted it down. Many of us, youth, when we are facing a lot of problems, personal, outside, from friends, you were telling, okay, how are we going to look into ourselves, okay? And you know what really happened after this? She will learn English. She understand that if I'm able to speak good English, I would have handled the situation much better. So she found out that that would be the best way, rather not to sit and brood and think that, okay, I'm gone, I'm a worthless person, let me not go to US at all, let me sit in India itself. That is not the solution that she brought in. She is focused on herself. Okay, and then you know really what happened. So I would like to play another small 2 minutes video itself. The same thing only, the last scene. I hope now it will start off immediately. Okay, so there also. So with this is, I don't want to like give a big lecture or just make you think about life skills, how important, problem solving, identifying the problem, finding out alternate solutions, go deep into that. Critical thinking, find out alternate solutions, fix to one, be creative so that you can be out of the box, different person, don't go with the crowd. Your life is in your hands. You are responsible for your decisions and your life further, okay? So you have to always have reflections. There are always people to support and help you, and there are always opportunities that are coming in. You only have to use it and have take charge of your emotions and then think, not actually, why did I do like that? Why did I cry? Why did I tap? Next you can think like, what can I do to overcome this? What can I do to really face this? Okay, so that should be the way our question should be. This is the only way. Problems come today one, tomorrow another one, always come in. So if you are taking charge of yourselves, you can be a better leader. That problems will be too big, too big. But you have to take decision. You have to have a risk, little bit of accountability. Yeah, I took a decision and I am answerable for that. And I am willing to say, even apologize, even if it goes wrong, no problem. Even it will go wrong, no, I am not a perfect person. So like that. Okay, the last one where she is displaying that without fear. Let's see that, okay? Okay, I think you can stop it. It is, you have to listen. So if you're not able, so I'll just tell you all have seen it. So she is given a chance to speak and her husband will say things that the people around have thought that we cannot, and he will say, no, she cannot. Then she says, no, I will. So coming out of your comfort zone, comfort level, breaking that is something that we really have to take conscious steps. And she starts speaking slowly, little bit broken English only, but not bothered about how others are going to tease her. So she speaks about the marriage, and she also says that family is such a nice thing. She was not respected by her family at all. That you all know. But she says that family is something where you get all respect and everything. So she says very positively. So that makes a change in those people itself. So here I would like to say, when we overcome, when we come out, we should again not blame. See, it's all because of you. Look at me, how I come out. Again, let not the blaming take place. Handling people who are having other issues, right? Positively, appreciating them and not talking about fault finding or it's all because of you only happened. See, how did I behave? You're like that and all. If you are not going it, they will realize it by themselves. So that kind of a attitude is that, yeah, I'm able to speak, I worked on myself. That's it. I'm not going to fault find, I'm not going to blame, and I'm still going to appreciate others for all whatever they have done. So with that, I can have a very good interpersonal relationship with people around, which is another important core life skill, interpersonal relationship. Okay? So these are some of the life skills which all together we have to work on. If we are focusing on ourselves, I'll be a good empathetic person and I can work on good communication. Communication is not just English or that. Communication is how I'm able to non-verbally connect with others and how I'm able to understand others non-verbally also. That is something we are missing out. And then all those things. So let's work on these life skills. Life skills are something that can be practiced. So life skills are something that can be practiced. If you had been taught about life skills and all those things right from your young age onwards, you would have been stronger now. Your school and your parents definitely play a major role. As a small child, we have to give them a chance to take decisions. Okay, decide when you're going to do your homework. As parents, we should not force that I will decide everything for you. That is how we are controlling them. So life skills has to be like ingrained along with You cannot teach theory. Today I'm teaching her critical thinking for the whole day. I cannot say that she would have developed it. You have to practice it. Only when you practice it, some people would be extremely good in critical thinking, but they don't know what is it at all. So it's all about every day, every activity should be that you must enhance your life skills. It's a conscious effort, thoughtful, mindful effort. If you're doing it, I'm sure you will be able to overcome all kind of challenges that you can face. Okay? And with this I stop. I hope I was able to give out something to you. Is it? Were you able to understand a bit? To your thoughts? Written to your hearts? Yes? Was it interesting? Good? If the sound was there, it would have been still more interesting. Fine, you can watch this later. And thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity for the department. Thanks a lot.
If there is any questions, ma'am, floor is open. And participants, please fill the post session of your form and hand it over to the volunteers. Is there any questions that students would like to ask? So I thank you for enlightening us with your words of wisdom, ma'am. I humbly thank you for your engagement with us today. Now I request Dr. Vijay to hand over the gift bags and honor our guests. Thank you, sir. Participants can leave to have their lunch and please be back by 2 o'clock for the next section. Thank you.